If I were to sit down and write a list of problems that I'm incredibly concerned about, to be honest, climate change and topics like global warming would be very high up on my list of items. That being said, it's always good to get fiction that comments directly on these topics without doing so in an aggressive or overly preachy manner. Thankfully, Marvel Comics has just released a brand new series that gives a nuanced look about what the Marvel Universe would look like if a climate plus an alien disaster were to wreak havoc upon the Marvel Universe all at the same time. Today, we're going to go ahead and cover Namor, Conquered Shores #1 over from Marvel Comics. My name is Braddock, and let's go ahead and jump right into the issue. I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel if it's your first time checking out our content. Please go ahead and feel free to click that like button as well. Next up, I want to introduce the creative team on Namor Conquered Shores. This issue is written by Christopher Cantwell. We have art from Pasqual Ferry, colors from the excellent Matt Hollingsworth, and letters from VC's Joe Caramagna. Pasqual Ferry and Matt Hollingsworth both worked on the gorgeous cover together that I'll be showing you guys in just a few moments. But first off, I want to give you a little bit of context behind the issue and read some of the solicitation texts. A century into the future, not much land remains on Earth. A combination of a worsening climate and a devastating war with the Kree has left the surface of the planet mostly inhospitable. With an ever-dwindling population of air breathers and a profound lack of superheroes to protect them, enter Namor, who these many years on is no longer king of Atlantis, but ruler of the entire world. Okay, so with all of the kind of foreshadowing, I'm sure you're going to want to check out what Namor looks like in this issue. So I want to go ahead and show off the beautiful Pasqual Ferry cover for Namor Conquered Shores. So here's the look at the cover. Very beautiful. And I just want to go ahead and start off the review by commentating a little bit about Pasqual Ferry. I've seen him work on titles like Thor alongside Matt Fraction, and I always loved how Pasqual would draw the fantasy characters. But this series really allows him to kind of embellish some of the designs with the kind of futuristic setting of this series, as exemplified here by the kind of Statue of Liberty, showing that the Marvel Universe has kind of risen the sea level as a whole. But I also just really get a kick out of this page in particular too, because the issue shows off like a more modern, a more kind of like sleek and futuristic look at Namor that kind of like differentiates him from how he currently looks in the Marvel Universe, which I think is a really big asset to the series. And it's always good to get Pasqual Ferry's art in a context that is different from your average superhero comic, because it always takes on such a strong kind of genre aesthetic. So getting the chance to see this art utilized in a special story that's set in a specific time really brought this issue out to be something special for me in particular, because I don't think I've ever seen Marvel utilize Ferry in in Ferry's artwork in a story that makes this much sense inherently. Christopher Cantwell's writing throughout the issue is incredibly sad, and just the undertones of politics that this issue has is so great. This issue is not concerned with just beating you over the head with political concepts and everything the earth has done wrong. This issue is more so centered on the kind of like futuristic element of what happens next. This is more of like a seemingly like post-apocalyptic story, rather than a different kind of tale here. And I want to just take a moment and read one of the passages that Namor says to Captain America, because it really got a strong emotional reaction out of me when I didn't think it would in the first place. So this is something that Namor is saying to Captain America. Maybe if those above weren't so resistant to emigrating undersea or resistant to the rule of Atlantis in general, I could make a good faith argument to Namorita and the Council. Push for real effort instead of this wait and see approach they keep taking. Moments like these, I think, really capture the bitterness that Namor feels towards the Earth. You know, Namor has kind of tried to turn his back on the people who are still, you know, living on the surface and, you know, breathing air, essentially. So just kind of the push and pull between, you know, Atlantis and the surface is a strong driver of, you know, what drives some of the harsh and unforgivable themes within the issue at large. And the way that Cantwell starts to utilize other elements of the Marvel Universe really pay off well in this issue. I'm not going to go ahead and give any spoilers, but I really appreciated the way that Cantwell really started to utilize other players in the Marvel Universe. Also, you know, I think Marvel is trying to put this in the direction of a more classic series that's going to maybe potentially stand the test of time if the entire book can sustain this level of quality. So I think that Marvel really chose the guest stars in this issue carefully to make sure that this issue would be seen in that context. So those are my thoughts on Namor Conquered Shores #1. I really think you have to go ahead and give it a chance. This issue has some lofty themes, but I think the creative team does a great job making sure that they're not too prominent and they don't detract from the overall series. I want to know what you guys thought about the issue. I want to know what you want me to go ahead and cover next. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and I'll see you next week for more excellent comic book content. Thank you guys so much. Bye.